Today I'm going to show you how to manipulate your photos in Photoshop to make it look like this. So we have here two photos that we are going to edit and combine the ring and our model. So first I have to remove the ring from its background. So I'm going to make a copy of this layer, of the background layer. Hit or press Ctrl J or Command J on your keyboard. Now that we have a copy, we go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and we're going to adjust the exposure and details of this ring. Okay. Next, what we want to do is to select this ring. So we are going to use Pen tool, so we want to make sure that we have a fine selection of the subject, so we really have to zoom in our subject. Later we're going to delete this clay. It's actually a kneaded eraser that we use to make this ring stand on the surface. Alright, so on your keyboard, just press Ctrl and Enter. So now it will select our subject, and then just press Ctrl Shift J on the keyboard, Ctrl Shift J, so that it will just select our subject. Now this one is not yet done. We want to remove this thing inside. So we can use again a pen tool, and I think I can use a layer mask on this. So we are on layer 2 where we have our subject, and I'm gonna use the layer mask, and I will use the brush, making sure that the palette is black, and alright, I just need to erase that using brush tool and black palette. And again, I'm I will use this pen tool and remove the background inside our ring. Then I'm gonna make a selection. I'll just use the brush tool again and I'm gonna make the brush size bigger. Then Control D to deselect. So now we have this. Next thing that I want to do is to remove this gray, the bottom part of the ring. So I'm going to use, well, since we have a good selection, well, we can check this by adding a solid color. I'm going to use red and I'm going to bring it down. So to add a solid color, just go to adjustment layer and then click on solid color. So I usually put red background to double check my selection. As I can see here, I have a bit of gray background on this part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our ring and then to the layer mask, making sure that the layer mask is selected, that white rectangular box. Then use the brush tool, Control D to deselect, pen tool again, and right click, make a selection, use brush and delete that, Control D to deselect. Then here, just going to refine this quickly, make a selection, brush, and just a little bit here at the bottom, pen tool, make a selection, hit OK, use brush and delete that. Then Control D to deselect. Then I just have a little bit of gray here, and well, actually you can use the brush tool right away to erase that, but I just want to make sure that I don't erase any details. That's why I'm using a pen tool. But then if you are okay in erasing background using the brush tool right away, then you can just go to brush and then erase that. Okay, now that we have a good selection, then I'm gonna make a copy of this layer. So just press Ctrl J on the keyboard and then I'm going to apply this layer mask. And this is just a small portion, so I'm gonna use clone stamp tool So how to use it? You will see the plus sign. When you see the plus sign, you have to press Alt on your keyboard. Click on the area that you want to copy the color. Alright, again, I'm gonna copy the layers. There was like a glitch. I'm gonna press on the layer mask, apply layer mask, and now I'm gonna make the brush smaller. I am on this tool, clone stamp tool, and alright, so on the keyboard, I'm pressing Alt, and then you will see this sign. I think we're good. Okay, alright. Now we have our ring. Then what we are going to do is to remove this subject from our background. So I'm gonna make a copy of this one. Go to filter. I'm gonna do the same thing. Go to camera raw filter, and with this one, I'm just going to adjust this photo a little bit. Hit OK. Next, I'm going to remove the subject from the background. So we have here a green screen. Let's see if it can help us by using the quick selection tool and select subject. Alright, and I'm going to press Control J on the keyboard. I'm going to deactivate this one. So I'm going to use a solid color by going to adjustment layer, solid color using red. Now I'll bring this under our subject so I can see our selection. So I think everything is okay except that we have a reflection of green here. So I'm going to use this pen tool just to fix this one. So I only use quick selection tool and select subject to, oh, we are not on the correct layer, so I'm gonna go back to this, use quick selection tool, and just gonna select this edge of the hand. I'm using brush tool, my color palette is black, and I'm just gonna use eraser, again eraser, and just erase that since we did not use a layer mask on this one. Then what I'll do is I will just add the ring in this photo. So I'm gonna add this one, Control C or Command C. And I'll add it here. Okay. And then I'm gonna press Control on the keyboard. Sorry, I'm gonna press Shift. Hit OK. I'm gonna turn off the red background. I'm gonna change it to a neutral color. And then I'm going to expand our background by using crop tool, and I'll just drag this one and hit OK. So I'm gonna drag our subject a little bit lower, then our ring. I'm gonna put it on the hand, so that's the goal. I'm gonna make this one smaller because this artwork is actually applying the technique used on the Ant-Man artwork. Alright. Can make him smaller, press shift, And now we want to use layer mask on the ring. So I'll add layer mask. So we have the ring, and change the name here. I double click on those letters and then ring. And this is our model. Steve, click on ring, and I'm gonna add layer mask. Then I will use a pen tool, but before that I'm going to decrease the opacity of the ring by clicking on our ring and decreasing the opacity so that we can see the hand enter. I'm gonna click on the layer mask again, and then I'm using a pen tool. And make a selection, hit OK. Gonna use the brush. So our layer mask is white, so our palette should be black to remove that. Then hit Ctrl D on the keyboard. We're gonna do the same on the other side. So using the pen tool again, and selection, hit OK, brush, and remove that. Ctrl D. Now let me just increase the opacity of this one to see if I have to. I think this one is okay. I'm gonna change it back to 100. So now we have this image. So what I want to do is to make a copy of these two layers. I'm gonna select this one and then shift and then press down, Ctrl J, and then what I want to do is to first I'm going to apply this layer mask, and I want to adjust the tone and the texture of this ring. So I'm just gonna go to contrast, the haze. I'm gonna add texture and clarity, add shadow and highlight. Okay. Next is I need to add shadow on this. So I am on the ring. We can add shadow by double clicking on this layer, or you can click on that layer and then you will see FX here, and then click on drop arrow. And here we have drop shadow. So I want to add shadow I think we can add shadow on both of this. So I'm gonna click on Steve and bring copy, and I will add, I'm going to combine these two. Click on merge layers, and then I will add drop shadow and there we go. Now I will just change the angle of this one, make the shadow size smaller, spread, gonna decrease the opacity. I'll change it to a lighter shadow. Okay. Then hit OK. I want to add a ground, so I'm going to go to Rectangular tool, and I will add this one here. I'm going to remove the stroke, and I will add a fill color. It should be something lighter than our background. I just click on that first, and check this one. I'm going to change the color of our I just want to make or add a neutral color here. Alright, and hit OK. I will go to this rectangular tool again and rasterize this one. So how to rasterize? Just click on and hit Control Z to show you again. So we want to edit this rectangular shape by first rasterizing the layer, and then I would like to use the blur tool. Click on the rectangular layer. I'm gonna blur this area, and by using the brush tool, I will add, so I have the brush tool, added that color, and I'm using the mixer brush, making it bigger, and I will just make this area darker. Okay. Next, I'm going to add our computer now is laggy, so I'm going to go to File and save this file first. So I will add a shadow on this part. So I'm going to use the brush tool again and apply it here. So you just want to decrease the opacity of this one. And I'm going to blend this again with the mixer. I'm going to make this area a little bit darker. So I'm just merging these layers so that I can blend the shadow on this part. And now we want to crop our background. Then export the image. That's it.